Yo, what's up everybody? It's Nuts here. We're back with another video. Today, I want to go over how to make World Series and the steps you guys can take to potentially get there. I've been playing MLB The Show since MLB The Show 20, actually. I played 18 a little bit, but I wasn't really competitive. MLB The Show 20 is when I really started to take my game up a little bit. I know a lot of you guys are going to sit here and think that you're not good enough to make World Series, but I'm here to tell you that you are. Put a little bit of time into the game and I promise you, you can make it into World Series. Still to this day, I don't think that I am a good player at all. I will go ahead and show you my record here. There's my record. I'm at 83 and 52. Obviously, I've played a shit ton of games and probably most of you guys have not played this many games. But in order to get to World Series, the good thing is you do not have to play this many games. I am out of my mind and I can't believe that I even have ever played this many games. So don't worry about playing a shit ton of games. I'm here to tell you that I am just an average player and I want to give you guys some tips on how you can make World Series. Now, obviously hitting, pitching tips, all that stuff, that is covered in my channel. I will go ahead and put that in the description below. So in this video, I'm not really going to cover all that stuff. I'm going to be going over the things that you can do before the game to get ready and to make that run for World Series. Now, rule number one, as you can see here, I'm 83 and 52. I've played way too many games. Rule number one is to just pace yourself. If you lose a game, take a break. If you feel like you're not seeing the ball very well and you're not performing very well, take a break. As you can see here, we have until 5:30. I believe this season began beginning of May. You have a lot of time to get to World Series, especially if you're one of those people that, you know, you're right there in that 700 to 800 range, but you're having troubles getting to that 900. If you get to start the season off at 700, trust me, you have plenty of time to get to 900. So pace yourself. Rule number two, this is what I do every single time I matchmake. We're gonna go ahead and matchmake into a game real quick. And this is a little trick. I didn't know anything about this until last year. This is what you can do. You pick your park, and when it's searching for an opponent, you wanna hold your stick to the left. That way the little cursor thing doesn't go all the way over to the right, and it doesn't expand your level that you're going to face. So right now I can only face an 845 to 980 opponent. So yeah, you want to keep that to the left. I've noticed whenever I do that, I always play somebody that's either a little bit better than me or right around where I'm at talent wise, or sometimes they're way worse. Now, if you let that cursor go all the way, sometimes you can get lucky and you'll face a guy that's got a level that's way lower than you. But if you win that game, you're not going to get much progression towards your World Series score. So I don't recommend doing that. On average, when I keep that cursor all the way to the left, and if I win those games, I'm usually getting anywhere from 25 to 30 progression towards my World Series rating. Also, if you let that cursor go, you have the opportunity to play somebody that's in World Series and you might be in Championship Series or Division Series. You don't want that. You want to face somebody that is around the same talent level as you. Next tip, this is something very important. When you're in those all-star divisions, you can pretty much play anybody. Contact and vision, all that stuff isn't really that important. When you get into the Hall of Fame ranks, you really want to make sure that you're picking players that have pretty good contact. I always say that in All-Star, I feel like power is a very important attribute. But when it comes to Hall of Fame, yeah, power is good, but contact is very, very important too. So a guy like Ketel Marte is perfect for Hall of Fame, mainly because his contact is really high. And when you come into the game, his PCI is pretty big and you're able to hit the ball pretty well. Whereas a guy like CJ Cron here, if we face a righty, his contact is pretty low, but he has really good power. So in All-Star, CJ Cron is a pretty good player, and in Hall of Fame against righties, he's not good. But if he's facing a lefty, this is definitely a good card to have. I'm playing on Hall of Fame. I like to make sure that most of my guys' contact is right around 90, somewhere around there. I've got a couple guys that are lower than that, but I just like their swing. So that goes right into my next tip here, and that is setting your lineup to success. Now here's what I mean by that. You want to make sure that you're using players that you are good with, players that you have good stats with. You want to keep an eye on players and see how you're doing with them. For instance, this Anthony Rizzo, I've got a lot of good first basemen, right? I've got a plethora of good first basemen that I can use. Ryan Howard, I've got Anthony Rizzo and Prince Fielder and CJ Cron. But for whatever reason, I am killing it with Anthony Rizzo. Looking at his stats here, I'm hitting 400 with him, 62 games played, and he's got 24 home runs. Dude is an absolute monster for me. What I'm saying here is if you have players that have a higher overall, but you don't play as well with them, don't feel pressured to use the lower overall that you play better with, because in the end, it's going to put you in a better position to win games. A big example, this Mookie Betts that I just unlocked, I'm not doing good with him at all. I just started out with him. I still haven't gotten a hit with him. And even last year, I just wasn't good with Mookie Betts cards. And honestly, I'm thinking about putting this Parallel 5 Corey Seager back in there because I did really well with him. He's only hitting at a 284, but I feel really comfortable with his swing. And I feel like in the future, he's going to get upgrades throughout the year. And I really like Corey Seager cards. So if this Mookie Betts doesn't perform, I'm not going to feel horrible if I put Corey Seager back in. Same scenario with pitchers as well. Go with pitchers that you feel like you can sequence pitches the best. For instance, this Jacob deGrom, a lot of people don't like him because he doesn't have the sinker and cutter combination that a lot of people like to use. If you're that type of guy that likes to use sinker and cutter combos, replace him with somebody else. There's plenty of pitchers out there. A lot of people have issues with deGrom, but if you're not able to locate pitches and put together a sequence, people are going to hit you. So yeah, that is actually, I'm actually one of those players. I like to use pitchers with that sinker cutter combo, like Corbin Burns, Dallas Keuchel. Scherzer's just got the cutter, but I haven't used this card yet, so I'm not sure. Musina is a really good one. He's got the perfect plethora of pitches. So if you can ever get him, I know he's tough. He's one of the collections, but there's plenty of pitchers out there that have these combos, like this 91 Kluber. Carrasco's got a nice little sinker. Marcus Stroman, I have him at Parallel 5. He's actually a really good budget pitcher, and this Logan Webb is really good as well. And then when it comes to relievers, I like to make sure that I put relievers in that can pair well with my starters. So what I mean by that is like this Dallas Keuchel, for instance. Say I start him, right? He's a lefty. And once I put in a reliever, I like to put in a righty. So I'm probably going to be putting in Devin Williams or Steve Cishek, or maybe Adam Ottavino. I don't use this Mariano Rivera card very much, but I'm usually going to go with one of these three guys if I pitch a lefty. Now, if I pitch a righty, this is why I have so many lefties in my pen. We've got Billy Wagner, Zach Britton, and Aroldis Chapman that we can run with. So go into your games with an idea and a plan for the pitchers that you're going to use. Next is going to be pace yourself and have patience. So many players come in this game and they want to rush to get to World Series, especially the people that are starting at 700 for the season. If you start out in the season, playing 10 games a day or whatever it may be, you're going to drive yourself nuts, because if you're busting your ass to try to get to that 900, there's 1,000 other sweats out there that are doing the exact same thing, and they're probably going to kick the shit out of you. So I recommend pacing yourself. Play maybe 1 game, 2 games a day. I would much rather win 1 to 2 games a day compared to having like a 5-5 record on the day. You want to give these games full attention. Make sure that you're giving each game 110%. Now, me as a YouTuber, it's tough because sometimes I have to record while I'm playing, but whenever I play competitive games, especially games that are games to get into World Series, I'm not recording. I am giving all of my attention to the game so I can make sure that I'm performing the best that I can. And last but not least, play the game when you are energized. Do not play this game when you're tired, or at least ranked seasons. Do not play ranked seasons when you're tired. This sounds crazy, but like if you play this game while you're tired, your hitting, everything is just going to be off whack and you're not going to be at your full potential. I get it, it's a video game, but this game requires a lot of attention to detail and your hand-eye coordination needs to be at its finest. So if you're sitting here on 2-3 hours of sleep, you're probably going to get your butt kicked. So make sure if you play on ranked, you're playing at a good time. If you're playing first thing in the morning, I don't recommend just waking up and hopping onto ranked seasons. Jump into practice mode, maybe jump into mini seasons. That's what I recommend because you can still get XP towards your programs. So hop into mini seasons, go on Legend or Hall of Fame, and get used to those fast pitches. You might not do the best in these games, but you'll get used to the pitch speeds when you go into rank to play on All-Star or Hall of Fame. And actually, this is going to be my last tip. I notice a lot of people that play this game, they get into games with me, and a lot of the times my opponent is a better player than me. He doesn't know it, but he is a better player than me. And a lot of times, I might hit like a 2-run homer or something like that, and I'll go up by 2 runs in the 5th inning or something like that. People get drained and they quit. They just quit so fast. You guys will be amazed at how many times I make a comeback in the 9th or later in the game. I could be down 5 runs and still come back and win the game. Baseball is a very slow sport, and you can slowly come back with a little bit of momentum. So don't quit out of games. If you're down by 5, so be it. It doesn't matter. Just get your inning grind in for the ranked seasons play rewards grind. Just think of it that way. If you start going down, just be like, hey, I got to get my innings done, and we'll go ahead and finish that out. And if you're quitting, you're getting less bat time. If you stay in the game, you're getting more experience and you're getting better and better and better. Now, I understand if you guys are pretty new to the game, just understand it's not going to happen overnight. If you guys put in practice every day, not even every day, just when you're playing the game, you're trying to get better, you will get better. I promise you. This game is a very hard game to start out with, but the more you play it, the more you get used to it and the better you get. That's why I recommend watching the pitching and hitting tips videos that I do have on my channel. And I will put that in the description. Make sure you're watching those if you're having issues pitching or hitting. But that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw a question in the comments. We're almost at 500 subscribers. Be sure to subscribe if these tips helped you out. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.